Hey guys, Dr. Prometheus here with finally our MLB franchise, but it's a funny story. Now that I say this, I've started 3 separate franchises and 2 sim franchises to see what teams struggle, what teams are good, so on and so forth. And there's some funny things that happens. So, Toronto, that's 22nd. Out of those 6 franchises that I've done, I've seen the Toronto Blue Jays literally be in second or sometimes first of it. I've seen the Red Sox in first. I've seen the Yankees in last. I've also seen the Red Sox in last and the Yankees in first. I've seen the Red Sox up there. I've seen the Indians be dead last and first in the Central. So, who knows anymore? And then, when I went to the backup of, you know what was to a Cubs franchise? Well, that one turned out to be the fact that in 2 months of playing, and I have tons of these videos at this point because I was recording, we lost 11 games in 3 months. Like, we were on set to have the most wins ever in baseball. And I thought that was silly. I've seen ones where the Cardinals are in dead last and Pittsburgh is in second, being 29th team. And the Brewers being dead last and the Reds be at 21st. I've seen nothing but craziness. I've seen the Dodgers literally be in last place but be the first place team. So, with this franchise, what we're going to do is we are going to put a caveat to this. And we're going to make it a little bit more difficult for us first off. First thing is, we cannot spend more than the league average going into the second offseason, or the first offseason. Meaning, we cannot spend over $150 million. Actually, I think it's like 135-ish. And then we'll play something like that to where a division win will get some extra money. And a AL/NL pennant will get some extra money. Stuff like that to make it simulate the fact that the owner is allowing us to spend more money because of our budget. But we also have to keep it realistic in the fact that with the Cubs franchise, we had Trevor Story, Baez, Rizzo, Bryant, Schwarber, we had a couple other crazy bats in there. But there's going to be none of that in this franchise. Nothing crazy like that. We're going to do good old-fashioned team building. One thing I also want to do was, I've played in the NL. I know we're going to do a Chicago Cubs, not really show, but March to October. And we're going to do a Chicago White Sox March to October. And with the fact that the draft and stuff, watching some movies, we're gonna do the team that I wanted to do last year as well. It was really tossed up with the 2 years before, so 2017, 2018 franchise. I was thinking about doing the Athletics or the Blue Jays. I've looked at the Blue Jays roster, and you have absolute studs on this, and I kind of want to build a team for the most part. So, they're kind of out of the question, mainly because of the fact that they have Kevin Biggio, son of Craig Biggio, Hall of Famer. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., obviously the son of Vladimir Guerrero, Hall of Famer. And Bo Bichette, whose his dad's first name is escaping me, but also a Hall of Famer. So, really, they got 3 guys that have been crazy. And then with the spirit of the cash restrictions, we're going to go with the Oakland Athletics. So it's going to be, I guess you could really call this a Moneyball type franchise, but we'll kind of see how it goes. GM contracts, we're going to have it on. So we're going to give us a little threat in this franchise. If we do not turn out, then we might end up having to take control of another team. No fantasy draft. We're going to allow CPU trading. We want them to deal with budgets or else it messes with the game. Don't force trades, not worried about it. I'm going to send this on auto. And then the extra inning runner, I think we can change this later. But this is what they're doing for this season. And I kind of want to try it out, even though it's silly. We're going to manual everything but scouting. The idea is that we have hired scouts, and their main job is to, find players. And our job is to really not screw up the team. So we're going to worry about coaching tasks and manager tasks. We're going to let our hired scouts worry about the development tasks. We're going to start this in the regular season because it's just better. And we start the season off against Houston. Wow. That's right. We have Houston. We have a rising Angels team, but we're also rising. And we have a Rangers team that's rebuilding and a Mariners team that's rebuilding. So we're kind of middle of the pack here. But it's going to be all about defeating the Athletics. So our new depth chart picture in this, and looking at our bottom left portion, we're only 16th overall, likely because of our defense. We're the 4th best defense in the league. But on speed and contact and power, we are just terrible. So, to look at this, we have Matt Chapman, who's going to be highlighting this roster. 27 years old, 91 overall. And, well, it's Matt Chapman. The guy is an absolute beast. We have him arbitration for 2 more years, and he goes to free agency. The biggest thing is, well, I think the most the A's have given for a contract is like 15 or 16 million. So if Chapman really wants that money, it's going to be a lot. Elvis Andrus here, 32 years old. I think he's on a 2-year deal, the highest paid on the team right now at $15 million. And he's likely going to stay the highest paid on this team. Did bat 194 in the short season last year, but not great. 275 the year before that. We had a couple guys down at AAA. Robert Paulson. We're going to start him at AAA to see how he does. And Logan Davison, who is only a primary shortstop. So at least we have some ideas, which may end up being, depending on how we do down the stretch, we may end up seeing if anyone wants to trade for Elvis and bring up one of our youngsters. He bats switch hitter, so he can bat pretty much an everyday bat with that. And Logan Davison, same thing with a switch hitter. Moving over to seconds, Jed Lowry. Coming over from the Mets, but he was on Oakland before that. Pretty small contract at 2.7, 36 years of age. Likely, since it's a 1-year deal, he'll likely move on. Tony Kemp, 29 years old, really. The idea that he's going to be on this team long term, likely not going to be true. Then we got Marcus Barado here. And Marcus, well, 19 years old, switch hitter. He's going to be probably starting at AA with those stats. And then Matt Olson's over on first. Olson, I think, it has arbitration for a couple more years, so we have some team control. only $5 million, so that'll be decent there. Mark Hanna, pretty much probably going to be more of a bat in the lineup. Remember, we are working with a DH, so going to be looking that way, and then give Olsen some breaks from that. Sean Murphy will be the catcher, one of our cornerstones of the franchise. Only been up in the majors 3 years. We got team control till 2025, so a while. We're going to be building around him and Chapman. Designated hitters, we do add Mitch Moreland, but I don't see him being a big bat with that, so we might look at something. Mark Kent obviously is the other bat. One's good against lefties, one's good against righties, it looks like. No, they both kind of suck against, well, no. He's against lefties, and he's kind of against, okay, yeah. Neither of them really succeeded either. On the outfield, we got Chad Pender in left, 29 years old. Decent hitter. Is good, some good fielding, decent arm out in left. Played with only Oakland since 2016. We got him for another 2 years of team control. Ramon Laureano here, good bat, 26 years old. He's going to be another cornerstone of our franchise right now. We got team control until 2025, so we're going to be growing him to only 26 years old. Good bat in a lineup, too. And Steven Piscotty, 30 years old, played Oakland the past couple of seasons. Last 4 seasons, actually. Coming over from St. Louis before that. Decent contract, however, at 30. With a 59 arm and not great speed out in the outfield. Decent bat. Kind of thinking about what to do there. Our rotation is headlined by Sean Manaea. I mean, not bad, but not exactly good. He did play decent in 2019, but I believe he got hurt in 2019. Played decent in 2018 and 2017. Kind of ERA was up there, but got the wins. And then with the shortened season, only went 4-3, 4.50 ERA. See if we can have a bounce back year. And he's a lefty. It's something that in our Cubs franchise that I started, it was all righties. Chris Bassett, 32 years old, pretty much a stopgap idea. We got 2 years of team control onto him. He's coming over from the White Sox in 2014, stayed over to Oakland, probably from a trade, if I'd have to imagine. And he's put up some good numbers, 10-5 at 3.81 ERA in 2019. Short season, he went 5-2. I can't complain. Frankie Montez here. I mean, we're hoping he grows into something, but who knows? Jesus Luzardo here. He's 23 years old, lefty. We're going to keep him up at the majors. We got some team control for a while with him. Another lefty. He's going to do some good stuff. Paul Blackburn at 27 will edge out our rotation and really has not looked great. So, let's see what we do there. In the bullpen, Trevor Rosenthal, I believe, was a add-on to this season. Coming over from Toronto. Had a pretty good ERA, but in 23 games, yeah, 1.90 ERA. That's a good one. Had 11 saves. Was their closer out there. And so he's going to come in and, I think, be our closer for us. Diekman, left-handed guy. Pretty good setup, it looks like. But from there, we're just kind of trying to figure out our ways. JB Winklekin, pretty good. So at least our bullpen is somewhat set. When we go into 2022, we kind of see what we're looking at. Paulson, projected to be around 79. Jeremy Ironman comes in here, but Marcus Brito, we're starting to see him at 68 over here. Davison moves in. He becomes a good, decent bat. Laureano, they say he's going to be up in the 90s. That's where he's projected. Chapman up in the mid-95s. Sean Murphy, 86. Murphy progresses up in the 90s from there. When it comes to first base, at least we have Matt Olson until 2023, but looking at that right and left field, I am not exactly high on what's going to happen here out in the field. So that's a new depth chart thing. We can kind of see when stuff kind of pops up. Start with the pitching rotation. Obviously, it's going to be Sean Manaea will be the ace. Chris Bassett, we'll see what he can do. Ricky Montez, Jesus Luzardo, and Blackburn. We're going to have Friars in here. It's a long arm reliever, 34 years old. He's going to be decent there. And we got our setup guys left, right. At least we got something going with Trevor Rosenthal. So it's pretty good there. Down at Double-A now, looking at some of our prospects, and, well, I'm not exactly high on the pitching rotation. Maybe Logan Harris deserves to be the ace down here. But other than that, I don't see any growth. And that's a big issue, is building this team to be something. And right now, this is nothing. So that's a Double-A, though. At Triple-A, is it any better? It does not look like that is the case. So it's going to be all about talent. However, Kipper-Leon looks like a good trade piece. And so does Cole Irvin. Other than that, not even bullpen's arms that I would be comfortable bringing up as we kind of glance through these. So, we got our first guys that we're going to put on the trade block. I'm going to remember this. I swear. He's one. Where's the other one? Cole Irvin. So there's two guys on the trade block that I'm not particularly sure about. There's a couple more I probably want to trade. I like Pender. Elvis, we'll see if we can move him. Jed Lowry. I like Jed Lowry. Mitch Moreland. We're not going to trade him, but let's see what we have down here. Don't see anything massive. Okay, so that's all we'll put on the trade block there. Let's look at our lineup. Start at the MLB. Elvis Andrus will be leading off with Jed Lowry, Matt Chapman, and Matt Olson. Honestly, I'm alright with that. Laureano after him. Moreland, Pender, okay. Not much of a change here, just stuff later on, and I'm fine with that. Mark Canna comes as DH here. Okay. I'm fine with that, actually. Forgot to look up what we see at the Double-A. So Ironman's down here at third. I don't think he's played at Double-A before. I think they'll be good to be... Whoops. 1 and 3. He has some speed. He's 77. He's 74. Let's put him up there. He's 82 though. So that's how we're going to do that one. Then we're going to come in Sanchez. That's short. It's a no. So we have someone that can only play short. He's a short. Third. He's a first baseman. Let's put in, wow, he's an F potential. Gelman. So Sanchez batting at 5. Bruno Ironman Sanchez. So. That's how we're gonna kind of play Double A. At Triple A, we got Pawson here, who's gonna have to play short. Thing is, neither of them. Neither of them have a secondary position. How tall is he? 6'3", 165, 185. Let's see how Davison does at first. So what we're gonna do here is, if Davison has a good fielding time at first, we will actually add on a second position. If he has a bad year fielding, then from there he will not get that secondary position. We're gonna kind of play it kind of cool. As for anyone else that has any potential, not really. But I'm kind of going through this. Yeah, let's keep it like this. Okay. So there is our lineup set. Now, let's look at our budget. We're a small team. So not a lot. 140 is the most we can do. Which means we need to win games. But we're also going to have to do some smart things out here. The trade block, when I look at this, depending on how it looks, we might trade a couple more guys. I'm looking through who we could trade. Maybe Blackburn. Trade one of the shortstops. Ironman is just better all around. He's 22. He's 18. I don't think neither of them are ready. And he isn't. It's going to take him a couple of years. Rito is at second base. Let's see. It doesn't mean we're going to trade him. It means let's see. Okay. Let's look at... I want to get that alert away. Top prospects. Here we go. So the Astros had the top prospect in Corey Lee. As we go down, there's Cubs at 14. Here's our first one. Logan Davison will be our first prospect. He's at AAA. As we go down, see a lot from the Astros in here, but he is our only prospect right now on the top 100. Oh, here's Paulson. Paulson at AAA is the second biggest guy in the league. Maybe we bring him up eventually. Maybe we make a trade. All right, guys. So the next episode, we will go and play against Justin Verlander and Sean Manaea. How these games will be is I'm going to play three games. I want to play 4 games a month. That's what we'll end up doing. We're going to obviously play opening day. And then maybe we'll check in with the Dodgers. Maybe a little bit of Minnesota Twins, depending on the record. And then kind of go check out maybe Baltimore. But Houston's a big one that we have to deal something. And so I will see you next time when we take on Justin Verlander and the Houston Astros. Later, guys.